All right, so this is the Couch Pundits podcast. We just watched Man City versus PSG in the Champions League semi-final for leg. So we're just gonna have a discussion about it. So Daryl, just start off, give us your initial instinct thoughts on the game.
Well, it was really a game of two halves, wasn't it? The first half was really dominated by PSG. Like I thought, oh my god, this is gonna be a landslide if it stays like this. Like PSG, they were. I think it was a 40th minute or something like that. A stat came across the screen where they were like 2% less, so it was 52% possession to City and 48 to PSG. But they had like 9 attempts and 4 on target, and City had like 2 attempts and 1 on target. So, like in my eyes, that means they were completely dominating them. The press from PSG in the first half was unbelievable. Then they go 1-0 up, Marquinhos with a header. Then second half comes along, and it was a completely different show, especially when Bruyne scored. Like it just flipped the switch. He scores in like around the 60th minute, and then Mahrez scored a free kick, and kind of to cap off the game with like 12 minutes left or something like that. Ganagay gets sent off. So it really was a game of two halves, to sum it up kind of quickly.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Like, I thought it was the kind of game where as soon as I saw PSG scored, like obviously Marquinhos scored that it was a really good header. I was just kind of thinking, like I just thought it was like I thought it was going to be kind of a coaster of a game from then on. Like I could kind of imagine City kind of trying to play in front of a defense with PSG sitting deep. It didn't really work out like that.
Yeah.
Especially with that, like it felt like it was one of those nights for City. I feel like you always think that though, just because like City have that stereotype of they bought the Champions League, but then they just get a bit lucky. To be honest, De Bruyne puts the ball in the box. I have sympathy. I was saying this to you during the game when we were talking. I have sympathy for Keylor Navas there because as a keeper, if you go for that ball and someone gets a touch on it, whether it's a PSG defender or a City attacker, you just look so stupid because you're caught in no man's land. You're miles away from the goal and it's had to go in, and you just look like a fool. Whereas I think it's more the PSG defender's fault. Like it is a great ball from De Bruyne because it's so awkward in that sense. But I did feel like it was just like a PSG defender has to get their head on that. Then the Mahrez free kick, like it was a great free kick, and I'm not taking it away from these two goals, but again, like the ball goes through the wall. Like I know they were saying, like I heard the commentator say, like they're jumping up and they're turning to their side in the middle of the wall, so that's how it gets through. But like, what's the point of a wall if you're gonna turn to your side? Like that's so stupid. Like just face the wall.
It's a
Like and like
door,
he's trying to make
not a
excuses for
wall.
them. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But like if you're there, you're in a wall to be a compact unit where you take a hit if you need to. That's the whole point of it, or else there's no point of it being there. So as much as I'm slating PSG there, I do want to give Madrid a lot of. Oh, sorry, Madrid. What am I about thinking yesterday? I want to give City a lot of praise for that as well. The Ghana Gay challenge, I was just like stunned. Like I was the same as you. We were both saying it. Like when I watched it in full time, I was just thinking, get up. Like when Gundogan went down like that, he was rolling around. But at the same time, he isn't really that kind of player, though. He's not the kind of player who will kind of go down and milk something. But like, it was a shocker of a challenge. Like the fact that Gundogan's foot was planted as well, and he went through him like that at that pace. Like when you watch it in slow motion, you forget the pace that he is coming in at. Like that is a scary challenge. So it's definitely a rightful sending off. It kind of ruined PSG's last part of the game then because they couldn't really attack as much. Obviously, they had to bring Di Maria off and bring on Danilo Pereira, the defensive player, to fill in. But overall, I did genuinely, which is a rarity in these kind of big games, especially in Europe when sides are so cagey, and in the first leg, it actually did live up to the bill. And like there was players flying at the challenges. It was a bit dirty. There was goals, and it sets up a great second leg. And I was saying to you during the game, a lot of the time in these Champions League games, all the ties are done after the first leg because someone just gets hammered. But these two ties, as a neutral, have been set up really good for exciting games next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the neutral out of the two of us, and
Yeah.
it still is like, I'm not like sometimes it feels like after you watch the first leg of a Champions League that if you're gonna go and watch the second leg, it's almost like a chore. You don't even really want to because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just wait for the final. Like no matter how good the football is, like it kind of reminds me of like there was like a stage when it was kind of when Real Madrid went and kind of won it a good few times in whatever years they won it in.
Yeah,
And like it just felt like
got a bit boring and stale.
yeah, it just got mad stale and all. But this, these two ties, like I'm excited next Tuesday to watch the how this unfolds in the second leg. How, because they're both like top managers as well. Like there's four top managers in the semi-finals tactically.
Yeah.
But like how they go back to the drawing board, because I don't think it's going to be a City landslide. Now I could be completely wrong, but I definitely don't think Poch, just the manager that he is, will go back to his training ground and his office and sit there and go, I'm going to go with the exact same approach. Like, not a hope.
Mm.
Especially now he's missing Ganagay, which actually is. I said like to you during the match that he's not like the biggest miss, but like he's a pretty big miss for that press, because he was pretty good against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
But like you're kidding yourself to say that any of these legs are over. Like they're definitely not.
No, these aren't over, definitely. And as you said, you kind of alluded to it there. The fact that Pochettino has that experience of against Pep, and not just against Pep, but also in a knockout Champions League tie against Pep. Like he beat him with that Spurs team, and you have to remember that was like Llorente up front. They had so many injuries. They didn't even have Kane. Like Pochettino knows how to beat Guardiola, and I know Guardiola knows how to beat Pochettino as well. They know each other well from their years in the Premier League. But um, no, it's an interesting one because I just think like Neymar and Mbappe just make it so interesting because they can just like flip a game. I know a lot of players, like not many players at this level can flip a game or tie, especially on their own in a moment. But Neymar, Mbappe, De Bruyne, like even Foden, like Foden was again like I feel like we're getting to the point where it's just like you take him for granted almost. Like we have to forget like this fella isn't even 21 yet, and he was absolutely unbelievable tonight again. Should
Yeah,
have scored as well, but
yeah. He's 100% the
yeah,
biggest
no, I think
English
it's an
talent
interesting tie.
since Wayne Rooney, hands down.
Yeah, like you might think that's a bold statement, but it genuinely is. Like I don't think, as much as I love Mount, uh, like even players like you hear this debate, Foden, Saka, Greenwood. Like Foden is on a different level. Like Foden is on the like Haaland, Mbappe almost level of youngsters. Not like he's not on this like who's the best kind of squad player for a top side where it's like I
Yeah,
know Saka starts every game, but like Greenwood or even Hudson-Odoi, like he's not on that level. Like he is on the top level of young players. Like he changes games for pretty much you could argue the best team in the world. Like
yeah,
most
and he
weeks.
plays through the middle. Like he's kind of playing out of position a bit. Not that it
Yeah,
isn't
like
his position, but he could like
like
he's
he's so versatile as well. Like he's almost like a lot of players like in his kind of mold. They're like you expect him to be like a 10. Like he's not that much pace, but he's good feet and stuff. He actually like he doesn't actually do an unbelievable amount of creation. If you look at his stats, like he's not the kind of player who's like a De Bruyne where he has four key passes a game. Like he's actually just so direct and he's so fast for a player like that. He's like a winger. He's like a mix of a winger and a 10. Like he's not even either. He's just got so much in his game, and the fact that he's only 20, I'm
yeah,
jealous of England having a player like that for the next 10, 15 years.
yeah, exactly. Like he kind of reminds you as like it's a bold statement, but like Messi without like those mad mazy dribbles, like back
Yeah, like
back
I know
back
everyone's like, oh, the next Messi, but
back when Messi was
yeah,
playing through the middle and isn't the player that he is today, because he's obviously developed his game. But like you see like Foden coming up against like big fullbacks or big centre halves, and like he's not getting bodied. Like you know he's like gonna be a
he's just
generational.
not phased by anything. Like, and I think a lot of people. I remember a year and a half kind of ago, a lot of people were saying like I remember really clearly Rio Ferdinand. I'm not like saying this to slate him because I was probably saying the same. I think most people were, oh, he needs to get out of there. He's too good. He needs to go on loan, like a loan to like a low Premier League team or whatever. But I think Guardiola has managed him perfectly the whole way along. He's kind of drip feeded him into the side where he's given him enough experience, but not played him every game. Like, kind. But then this season has been his real breakout season where I think he showed his top potential. But and then anyway, in terms of the whole overall tie, how do you expect the second leg to go?
I'm hoping it's just, all guns blazing. Obviously, like, that is because the first leg was so good. You're kind of naive to say that, like, you hope the second leg's the exact same, because that usually means that it ends up being rubbish. Like,
Yeah,
but I think it's just left in like an exciting way. So like PSG have to go and score, because they're losing, and they have the 2 away goal deficit. PSG are unbelievable in the Champions League this year away from home. Like, they've beaten Bayern and Barca, and like convincingly beaten the two of them. Like, um, and then you have City just, I hate playing back to the narrative, but like just being bottle FC in the Champions League. So
yeah,
it's
that's
just,
the thing. Like both sides are kind of like looked at like that.
I think less PSG. Like, they've played in the final. Like, you know,
Yeah,
there's only so much you can say. Like, they've got a silver medal. Like, this is City's first time in the semi-final, isn't it?
no, they only got to the semi final once, and it was in 2016.
Right, right. Well, there you go. Who knocked them out? Like, I
Real
can't even
Madrid
remember.
when they went there first out of the three in a row.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember now. Um, but like, still, like, I think it's just used less for PSG. Like, just the fact that they've gotten to the final, and they've shown like their actual class,
Yeah,
like knocking out big teams and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I just think it's all
So are you
set up
back in
for.
City?
No way, I'm sticking with PSG. Like, I'm just sticking to my guns. Like, unless the tie was completely over, I'd say otherwise. But I said PSG on yesterday's one when we talked about um yesterday's match, and I'm saying PSG still now to win the thing. Like, I just, it's just, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
It sets that fairy tale finish up, doesn't it? Like, you know,
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's kind of a tough one. Like yesterday, I was more leaning towards PSG, but I was almost like 51-49. Like I wasn't like certain. I just don't know. Like I feel like it's such a tough one to call. And right now, I'd say City just based on the fact that they've got 2 away goals and that. But you think of it then though, PSG are unbelievable away from home.
yeah.
Like like they beat Bayern away from home 3-2. Like they're so good.
If you
Their away
think,
record is unbelievable.
if anyone thinks that PSG won't score,
No, that's the thing.
because
They will score, and they'll
I say
probably
this, they
score at
probably
least
won't.
two. That's my thought process.
Yeah, that's mine as well. Now, I also think City will score. So I don't know. I'm hoping for like a banger of a game where it's like 4-3 or something like that, and like,
Oh,
you know,
don't say that. It just never will be.
and like I'm running around
Nil
my
all
back garden
incoming.
in my jocks and socks. Like, no, I'm gonna stick with PSG.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go City, but it's more on the fact that I think City be easier to beat in the final when Chelsea eventually win it.
Bold statements, bold statements. So we talked about this yesterday. Who do you think was your man of the match for this match? Obviously, like, the game was, it's definitely not Gareth Gate. You can
Oh,
basically make sure that he's not in
yeah,
it.
you can rule him out.
But other than that, it's a game of two halves, so you can't,
I don't know.
you
Who are
know,
you gonna go for? I'm thinking Foden. I'm thinking Foden for my man of the match. He's just everywhere again. I know De Bruyne had the bigger moments, probably like with the goal, and Mahrez had that great free kick. Like Mahrez is unbelievable again. He's having such an underrated season. Like he's been genuinely world class this season. He's been world class. Like they haven't even missed Sane since he's gone. He's been that good. But I think
yeah,
I'm going to give it to Foden in this game. Just the fact that he was everywhere. He's involved in so much build-up play. Like he does so much running off the ball that gives players like Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, and De Bruyne space that
yeah,
goes unnoticed. And I just think he's so much pace. I just honestly like love watching him. He's one of the few players like you think I would literally pay any money to watch.
yeah, yeah.
Neymar is quality again, but I'm gonna go Foden.
Yeah, mine was kind of between Neymar, Mahrez, and maybe like Gundogan or something like that. I feel like he played well,
Mm.
but I'm gonna go with Neymar. I know they didn't win, and I know he didn't like have a goal contribution or
He's just a
anything like that.
joke to watch, isn't he? Like it's
He was
literally
just
like watching a little.
unbelievable.
It's like watching a. He's like a kid in the streets who's
Yeah,
just like a million miles better than anyone else. Like he's so good to watch. Like the
like
skills and the way he dribbles, he's so natural.
as well. Like I don't want to be like, not that I'm saying you're a reactionary, but I mean like the
Yeah,
first half was completely PSG dominated. There is 90 minutes in football. You can't just base it on the second
mm,
45 minutes. And I think like Neymar was just one player that like, you know, he played well in both halves. Like, you know, I
yeah,
think he was actually like top class. Like, and I think like I've criticized him so much in the past, you know, but I think in the Champions League this season, obviously he missed the game against Barca, but against Bayern Munich, top class, and again top class today. I'm hoping that he
yeah.
continues with this mad form.
Oh, I love watching him. But
Yeah, he's
so
so entertaining.
overall, you're going PSG to get to the final, and are you going Real Madrid to get to the final or Chelsea?
That's a way closer tie. Like, and I'll tell you why it's a way closer tie in my head is because like that's more of a tactical tie where like Neymar,
I was about
Mbappe,
to
De
say that it's
Bruyne,
more like based on the managers, whereas
yeah,
this one's more based on like individual like crazy moments.
yeah, because like we were talking about earlier, like I really rate Chelsea since recently when Tuchel came in, but like they only have one world class player so far. You know, not saying that no one else can be world class, but just so far they have one world class player in Kante, and we kind of agreed on it. I don't know if you fully agreed on it. But and then you look at Real Madrid and like they don't have like Benzema, debate for the midfield. Ramos is definitely world class.
Midfield three are all world class.
Do you think?
I think so. Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric are all world class, definitely.
I think their career is, but I don't know if they are currently right now. But that's a debate
No,
for
I think
another
they are.
day. That's a
Yeah,
debate for the
I think Real
goalkeeper.
Madrid have got five world class players at least.
Goalkeeper world class probably as well. Mendy is world class as
Yeah,
well. But what I'm trying to say here
yeah.
is they're still such a tight team because Tuchel's system is just unbelievable. Like it's literally just worked so well. But Zidane is also a tactician, so you just don't know what way that's going to go whatsoever. But I'm gonna I'm gonna
It's a
say
big book.
Chelsea. I'm gonna say Chelsea because I just think it'd be entertaining to see at least your team in the final because my team can't be. So
Yeah,
that's
good
my
for the
sole basis
podcast.
because I've got no
Uh,
other way to you know
no, you made
separate them.
this point earlier when we were talking. Like, if you're looking at Chelsea, you're probably only looking at Kante as the only genuinely world class player, and like, I'd probably agree. Like it's definitely no one who stands out as world class. Maybe Thiago Silva, but even then, like, would I put him among Diaz, Van Dijk, Ramos? Like, probably
No,
not. Like he was world class, but not anymore. But I wouldn't put him at that level now. But he's still like he's still unreal. But definitely not the goalkeeper. Like Chilwell is kind of the same. He's kind of on that level below the world class left backs like your Robertson, whatever.
yeah,
But
like I think
no,
I think
regardless,
I think Chelsea
go
have
on.
like an unbelievably like unbelievable depth in their squad for like players that are like either
Yeah,
really good standard or top class, which in my eyes it goes like world class, top class, and then it just goes like a good standard of player, like a good consistent player.
yeah. No, no. Like I know what you were saying earlier. Yeah, but like Kante is the only genuine world player. I agree with that. And as I said, I think Real Madrid have got five world class players. City, have got Bruyne, Diaz, Ederson, like Cancelo. Like
Yeah,
you can honestly go on and on and on. Sterling, so many world class players. Same with PSG. But I just think Chelsea have the best system, and like I think they genuinely just have the best defense, in terms of the system, the tactics, and the personnel. Like Rudiger in the last, I don't know, I'm not saying he is, but in the last 3 months, like Rudiger has been world class.
yeah,
Chilwell Chilwell didn't start a lot for the first month, but the last 6 weeks he started nearly every game, and he's been unbelievable.
yeah,
Like he's literally been at his best. Like, and like I know the thing is with Chelsea, the attack isn't that great, and obviously everyone talks about Werner. I don't want to even go into that because that gets enough coverage. But like whatever front three Chelsea play, like it's so interchangeable. Usually it is Werner, and he does add so much. Like last night, if you watch it, like I know he missed the sitter, but he stretched the defense so much, and that gave players like Mount and Pulisic the more space. I think thing is with Chelsea, they don't need many. They don't need to score 3 or 4 to win a game. Like they always get away with scoring 1 or 2 because they never concede goals. They conceded 1 goal yesterday. Like, not saying it was a
Yeah,
jammy goal, and like it was obviously a good goal, but it's a set piece. Like, and I know that happens. Like, set pieces are still counts, but
yeah,
uh, I just think Chelsea just have the best defense. I think they've got such momentum going with them as well. Like, they practically have been untouchable since Tuchel's come in. And this thing I keep talking back to, when people think about Chelsea, they think about Lampard's Chelsea, who are
yeah,
losing 4 out of 7 games in the middle of December. That is not the same team. Like, this is a different beast under Tuchel. Like, they've literally been untouchable
yeah. I
for
completely
99%
agree.
of the time. And I think they're going to win the Champions League. I've said it.
You've said it 10 too many times for it to come
Yeah,
true.
10 too
But
many times. Yeah,
look, I hope they're in the final. I think it'd be, at least entertaining for
yeah,
me to, watch you sit on the edge of a seat and scream at the telly. Uh,
yeah.
you know, um,
Istanbul is about to become history for us, not for yous.
that just will never happen unless it's like 4-0, 4-0 at half time. But yeah, so I'm going PSG, Chelsea, you're going City, Chelsea. I
Yeah.
think, even if
But
Real Madrid are involved, this is like it's gonna be a good final. It's not gonna be like
oh, no
Liverpool
matter no matter
Spurs.
of the whether it's Chelsea, PSG, or whatever, who it is, it's going to be a great final. And I'm glad, as in terms of a neutral, I'm
Yeah,
glad that these 2 games aren't over going into second legs because it makes it more exciting.
yeah, me too. Um, yeah, I don't think I definitely
Yeah.
don't have anything to add.
Anyway, so we'll leave it at that. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for listening. Our Instagram is Couch Pundits Podcast. Give us a follow over there. All right, thanks very much. Bye.